Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for Arrow. And with this episode, we get to see the return of Ray Palmer. So if you missed the Atom, and if you want more Legends of Tomorrow stuff, we get that in this episode. Very much these last couple of episodes have been about leading up to Legends of Tomorrow, which I think in 3 weeks we have the crossover, so it's coming up pretty quickly. But let's start talking about this episode. Here, Felicity feels a lot of guilt that she feels it's her fault that she wasn't able to get to Ray on time and hasn't been able to crack the messages of Ray. And also, while she was gone with Oliver, Ray has been trying to contact her this whole time. So pretty much this whole episode is an analysis on Felicity and Oliver's relationship, where they're at now, and how Felicity's guilt is playing a part in that, and also them trying to rescue Ray, and seeing how Damien Dark is connected to that. So that's most of the episode. Also, we see that Sarah's trying to deal with the Lazarus Pit effect, just like Thea has in the past. And that takes her into a different journey that I'm guessing this is how they're going to connect it to Legends, that she's going to go to Central City where her mom is and then try to figure out stuff. So they're really, I guess, foreshadowing where she's going to go in Legends, and her wanting a second chance, which is very much the persona of what she's going to be, the White Canary. So I'm excited about that. So that's something we're going to see. Also, we get to see the return of Mama Smoke and her wanting Oliver and Felicity to be together. She totally ships them. So that is most of the episode. And really, there wasn't a lot of progression in this episode that we didn't really know. And I guess that's the negative of the episode. It's not a filler episode because obviously things happen, but it's a slower episode. It's definitely more of a character building episode, which I feel like we've gotten a lot of from the past couple of episodes, which is obviously not a bad thing, but I do want a couple more twisted turns with these episodes. It seems like with next episode we are going to get more twisted turns, and this is kind of a spoiler but kind of not, because they just revealed it in the promo, but it looks like Diggle's brother is actually alive. So there you go. That's going to be happening next episode. So that's a lot of twisted turns. And if you want a centric Diggle episode, it seems like that's going to be next episode. What I also like about what Arrow's been doing recently is having focuses, or at least episode focuses, on our supporting cast. Last week it was Laurel's episode. This week it was very much Felicity's episode. And next week is going to be Diggle's episode. Maybe the week after it could be Thea. We'll have to see. But I feel like that was honestly mostly the beginning of the season. Was a bit more focused on Thea, but it'd be nice to have an actual more focus on her. But I'll get to her character, obviously. But yeah, like I was saying, this is a bit of a weaker episode because of everything we know from Legends of Tomorrow. There's not a lot of surprises because of it, but it's still a fun episode. And I like Felicity as a character, and I thought what they did with the Odyssey stuff here, it was actually fun. Now, one of my complaints from last season was actually how they handled the Oliver and Felicity relationship. I didn't really like what it brought out from Felicity and some of the story that she had last season. But this season, it was a lot of fun. Even though it was them, trying to figure out their relationship, which was kind of annoying last season, it worked here, I felt. I thought the comedy worked, and I felt, obviously, their chemistry worked in this episode. So, yeah, like I said, it actually worked in this episode a lot, especially for a Felicity-focused episode. One thing I felt like they could have focused on a lot more is Sarah's story. I feel like even though Sarah's been in 3 episodes, she hasn't really had a focus in any of the episodes. It hasn't really been about her because 3 episodes ago she revived, so you don't really get to see her talk. Last episode is more of like this brainless Sarah walking around, and finally when we get to see Sarah talk, she doesn't really have a lot of scenes here. I'm hoping in the crossover we'll get to see a little bit more Sarah, kind of more of the inner workings of her, because we really didn't get it here. Especially, I think what I would have been excited to see, and hopefully you guys were excited to see, was Laurel and Sarah and their relationship kind of talk a bit more in this episode. Now, I know that Laurel had her episode last episode, which was great. I loved how they really fleshed out Laurel last episode, but they didn't really utilize it here. I really wanted to see Sarah talk about Laurel being the Black Canary, maybe being a little shocked about it, but there was that small moment where Sarah's like, oh, I'm ready to suit up, and everyone's like, really? Don't think that's a good idea? And Laurel kind of gives that okay to her. She's like, all right, suit up. So I kind of like that authority with Laurel, showing how much she has grown, because it would have definitely been the reverse before Sarah died if Laurel was a vigilante then. So I like kind of the reversal of roles and seeing that Laurel has become obviously a stronger vigilante in a stronger part of the team. So even though it was a smaller moment, I like that, and I think we should have saw more moments of them together. And I did think that last scene was touching, though, how Sarah does want a second chance, and I think Sarah's kind of taking the killing even harder than Thea, because Sarah's killed a lot of people, and she's worked really hard to get away from that and to kind of be like Oliver, where they killed a lot of people and they're like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. So I think for Sarah, she really doesn't want to kill any more people. She doesn't care if it's one or two or whatever. She just, it reminds her a little bit too much of the past and who she doesn't want to be. So I like that moment a lot with Sarah, and like I said, we could have used a lot more moments with Sarah. And Ray was cool in this episode too. It honestly made me miss Ray as much as I thought Ray kind of stuck out like a sore thumb last season. I think he really fit the element of what Arrow's been doing recently, making it a bit lighter, making it a bit more like the comics in a way, balancing the action, balancing obviously the drama, but also having that light tone and that fun interaction between friends and between teammates. So I think Ray fit better in this season than he did last season, and that made me really miss Ray, and obviously we're going to see him once again in Legends of Tomorrow. So excited about that. I don't know if we'll see him in next episode and how many episodes we'll get to see him in Arrow, but I have a feeling we'll probably see him next episode in some respect, like we have with Sarah in the past few episodes. Mr. Terrific was also a cool, well, I keep calling him Mr. Terrific. You know who I'm talking about. Holt. He's a pretty cool addition to kind of this Arrow team, but obviously he doesn't know everyone identities, but I thought he had a cool moment, making the machine and also jumping off of a skyscraper with Felicity. So that was a lot of fun, and also learning more about him and that he has a lot of different talents, so I enjoyed that. So I think at least Mr. Terrific is being fleshed out a bit more, and that's been my complaint about the character. Mama Smoke was great in this episode. I think she added to the humor, and I think that's the reason I like the Felicity and Oliver scenes here, because of her. I think she added that element of humor and also what they were fighting about, because they care about each other so much. And again, I think they balanced the humor very well there. So last but not least is more about Thea and the Bloodlust. This episode was a lot about romance in a weird way. It felt like a Valentine's Day episode in a weird Arrow, a weird Arrow way. So we get to see that Quentin and Mama Smoke might have a thing. That's kind of cool, Give Quentin, somebody to hang out with. I like that. And now Thea is also interested in Alex, but I kind of like the way they're doing it. That it's not obviously like, oh, I've liked you for so many years, because they've only known each other for like a couple weeks. But I like it's just them wanting some normalcy, especially Thea. And I think throughout this episode with Thea, she's seeing what's going on with Sarah, and she's like, damn, I need a normal life, And one thing I've been waiting for with the show is that they keep promising us a balance of normalcy and a balance of, the superhero life. And that's something I love about comics, is to kind of see the double life. And we're really seeing that this season, but especially this episode, with Thea especially, where she, she's working with her brother now, and she is Thea Queen. That she has that identity, but she's also Speedy, and she has this whole complication with the bloodlust, and then she sees Alex, she's like, all right, you know what? Let's go on a date. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for that normalcy, which we saw that in Flash a couple of weeks ago with Patty and Barry, and hopefully we could kind of see a similar tone with Thea and Alex's date next week. And now we know they're gonna, because spoiler alert, there's a synopsis that came out for the next episode, and now half of the episode is gonna obviously be about Diggle and everything going on with Damien Dark, but the other half is that Thea's bloodlust is gonna come back. So even though I feel like she felt like it's under control, it's like, alright, I don't have the bloodlust now, next week it's gonna come back and she's gonna have to deal with the reality. I think Thea is very much a character that just pushes away all that. She tries to push away all this you know, all this complication in her life and tries to look at the positive, but at this point it's going to be a bit hard, and supposedly during the date, or Alex is going to see her bloodlust. So how is he going to take that? I don't know, but that's going to be a lot of fun. I always like how their two lives, you know, with this circumstance, Thea and Speedy's life coming together and seeing a normal person see the craziness of the Arrowverse. So really excited about that, and hopefully we'll see more of Thea's bloodlust, and I guess more of the Lazarus Pit story in general, which does have to be fleshed out more, and has been in the beginning, but because of the whole Ray thing, they couldn't really deal with it in this episode. Another disappointment, but I still liked it, was the girl team-up part, where we saw that in the trailer, and I thought it was going to be like a whole episode. I thought they were going to really team up, you know, talk a lot, and I guess that goes back to not really fleshing out Sarah's story that much in this episode, but I thought it was going to be more of like them really talking, but it was just like a 2-minute fight. I'm like, I want more of this. So I guess because it was so good, I wanted more of them teaming up. It just felt like they kind of spoiled that a lot in the trailers. I think that would have been a better team up if they didn't show it to us in trailers already. But yeah, overall, it was a good episode. It's not the best of the season, but it's a fun episode, and I think it's leading up to Legends and next episode, which seems like there's going to be a bit more of twists and turns with Diggle and Thea's story. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Of course, I'll have a review for Arrow next week, and this is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there's links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter, and don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.